know what that means. It's time to talk about JavaScript. It's Tuesday morning. Mark Stark talking to you. Today we're going to talk about the difference between dot notation and bracket notation on an object, why we like to use a prototype lookup for our methods with objects, and the difference between toString and JSON stringify. So first, what's the difference between dot notation and bracket notation? Well, we like to use dot notation as our basic just because it's just a lot less typing, so it's a little bit easier. But the big advantage to bracket notation is it allows us to pass in dynamic values. So we just have our little bracket there, we can pass a variable in, and then if we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, we can, or if we're setting it up for the future, we can dynamically access properties in our object. Next, why do we want to use prototypal lookup for our methods? Well, the big advantage is that if we have instantiated a bunch of objects and we want to change a method for them, we just have to change it in one place, and that's on the prototype. And then that method will change for all the objects down the line. Where if we just create an object that has its own method inside of it, we have to change each single one of those objects, which will lead to lots of chances for bugs, for typos, and things like that. So it's just easier to have the method in one place. Also, we can save on memory because we're not creating a that function each time we make that method, each time we make that object. It's just like that method exists in one place, and whenever that method gets called on a child object, it just looks up the chain to get that method. And finally, JSON stringify and toString. So the big difference between JSON stringify and toString is, so with JSON stringify, you get the entire object. You get everything and its context. So you know if you're dealing with an object, you can see the curly braces, you see the array brackets, you see the string, the quotes in a string. So you get the entire context of that object of that value being passed into JSON stringify. With toString, if it can be strung, you basically don't know exactly what you're dealing with. You just know that you'll have a string at the end. So if you pass an array in, you're just going to get the values in a list with commas. So you're not going to see the brackets. If you pass in an object, actually you only get object to object, so you don't really get that much information. So JSON stringify encapsulates the entire thing in strings, which makes it great for passing information over the internet and things like that. So that's it for today. See you next Tuesday.